But are there still 0 attendees?
Sorry?
Are there 0 attendees? Because I see panelists 3, attendees 0.
Oh, no, not yet. I will start broadcasting, so they will join now. Yeah. Now
okay.
it's in practice section. Yeah.
Okay.
So now I will broadcast, so they will start joining. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe it takes some time for all the attendees be connected to this webinar. So let's wait for maybe 1 more minute. All right, so let me start the opening, and I think there will be more attendees join gradually. Yeah. So first of all, I want to say hello to everyone, and thanks for joining today's webinar. Welcome. And Owen, we are happy to have Alessia from AI Tech to join as a co-host. And in next slide, we will give an introduction about ourselves. Today, we are going to talk about how to leverage AI video analytics to supercharge your monitoring solution, then bring efficiency and safety to your place. A record video and the slides of this webinar will be shared later, and we will reserve 5 to 10 minutes for Q&A after our presentation. And we also invite Iris from Boxer product division, Aeon Boxer product division, and she will also be here to help on your question if you have any specific question related to Boxer products. Then during webinar, we will give 5 posts and take it as a reference to develop our future product, which can better fit your requirement. We also live streaming this webinar through YouTube. So if there are people watching there, feel free to type your question if you have any. We have a colleague, and she can help us to collect and pass the question to Zoom, so we can answer all the questions within this single platform. And welcome to those who just joined. So let's get started. Short introduction about myself. I'm Owen, and I'm the product solution manager of Aeon, mainly responsible for seeking interesting application and collaborating with partners to bring sophisticated solution to business world. And that's how we met and collaborated with the AI Tech to build a smart monitoring solution based on Aeon NVIDIA Boxer. Aeon is one of leading manufacturer of industrial and embedded PC. And now we, Aeon Europe, would like to put ourselves as a solution provider to keep collaborating with partners within ecosystem and bring hardware, software combined solution into application level to help our customers solve difficulties for their industry and use case. And we are pleased to have Alessia join today's webinar as well. And I will then pass the ball to her for introduction. Alessia, the stage is yours.
Hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. My name is Alessia Saggese, and I'm in charge of sales and marketing department of AI Tech, which is an Italian company developing cutting-edge video analytic solutions for doing in practice everything. But we will discover this in a while.
Okay. Thanks to Alicia for her introduction. And now let's take a look why we need the AI tech analytic plugins, why we need smart monitoring, and why is it important. First, let's take a look at the traditional monitoring solution. So as you can see from the image, it's very resource intensive, no matter to machine or human. And the owners need to invest a lot on their monitoring control room. And usually in traditional solution, we count on human judgment, and it's very likely to get misjudgment due to long period of monitoring. Besides, currently camera worldwide collect 1,000,000 gigabytes of data per day. So it's a shame that we only utilize very limited % of lost data. And last but not least, we usually act passively within traditional monitoring solution. For example, you may find out your car disappear next morning when you're about going to work. Then you start looking through hours of video to try to find out what happened last night. So what AI tech analytic plugins and the smart monitoring can help to improve here? The real-time analytics not only extract insights from video stream, but also allow you to have event-based architecture. So combined with the automatic alert when defined event happen, smart monitoring allows you to take immediate action and streamline your monitoring solution, as you don't need so many people to monitor or so many storage space to record the video clips. And finally, the flexible structure of AI tags analytic plugins enable you to build the solution which can fit best to your use case. And gradually, Alicia and I will give more explanation regarding to this part in later slides. So let's first take a look for how does this solution work. The AI Tech and AI analytic plugins are installed within Aeon NVIDIA Boxer as an edge computing device to do real-time video analytic. Then this edge device can be connected to either local server or cloud for recording and integration with the video management software, VNS. The VNS then can help to visualize the information extract from camera and send real time along and record clip for playback when defined event happen. And as you can see here, I separate the use cases into two scenarios. The first is for small, medium, or multiple dispersed locations, such as retailer, casino, petrol station, etc. In such case, you don't need edge device to run lots of analytic plugins. Instead, you need several devices to run small amounts of plugins in multiple sites. So the entry-level products is a good fit for this kind of requirement. Second is for large single locations, such as station, airport, shopping mall, etc. In such case, you need a device equips higher computing power for running multiple plugins in this single device and a single site. So products with higher performance will be more suitable for your use case. Now I have separated the use case into two general scenarios. You must wonder, how would you know which platform suits you the best? And I will share the related information in later slides. So I mentioned before that this smart monitoring solution is built based on Aeon's NVIDIA Boxer. And our Boxer are powered by NVIDIA Jetson. So here we would like to give a rough idea regarding to Jetson family. Currently, there are 4 models, and they are arranged from left to right based on different performance. Jetson Nano is the entry-level accelerator, which has the lowest performance. Then Jetson TX2 has higher computing power. Next is the Xavier NX, which is just released recently, and the one with the highest computing power, AGX Xavier. All Jetson family leverages same software structure. It means you can start with entry-level Jetson Nano. And once you found out the computing power is not enough, you can easily scale up to the one with higher performance for your use case. So in this slide, I would like to show Aeon's offering with NVIDIA Jetson to give you a whole picture. You may find out the layout is the same as last slide, since I also sequence our products based on performance of different Jetson. From left to right, Boxer based on Jetson Nano, TX2, Xavier NX, and AGX Xavier. And what are strengths of our Boxer? Let's look at the left-hand side first. As you can see here, it can ensure a wide range temperature from -20 to 50 Celsius. The fan is designed prevent risk from dust, and the wide voltage support from 9 to 24 watts make our Boxer suitable for industrial environment. The chassis is default to have IP40 rating, but you could for sure discuss with us if you have other requirement to chassis. And now let's look at the right-hand side. As you can see, we provide Boxer with different I/O and different form factor to fulfill any project requirement. And it also supports wireless technology to bring convenience for a situation that is difficult for wiring setup. Then come to aspects of cost. It's cost effective. We compare the price of a similar model from our competitor, and the price of our Boxer is 40%, around 40% cheaper. Last but not least, I mentioned before there's possibility to do customization, and it's not only for chassis. For board, if you have such requests, you could also discuss with us based on project. So here I would like to launch our first poll to understand what are important points you would take into consideration while developing video analytic or AI project. So this would be a reference for us, like when we developing our new skill or a new Boxer, or when we collaborated with our partners, we will take this idea into as a reference, then to design a product or application solution that better fit your requirement. Yeah. So from now, I see the results. Most of attendees think wireless function is very important, since I think in industrial you need a compact setup. Then while wiring setup may not be so suitable for their application. And the next one is the suitable I/O. So for each industry or each application, you will need a special I/O. Yeah. Okay, so I will finish this poll after 10 seconds and move on. Yeah. So in this slide, you could get a quick overview of Boxer for their performance ranking and naming rule. The entry-level Boxer based on Jetson Nano is coming with the name A22X. Then higher performance one based on TX2 coming with the name A1XX. Next is the one based on Xavier NX coming with name A25X. And the highest performance one, AGX Xavier A24X. So here is like to give you an overview regarding to performance ranking, and you can know the Jetson Nano is the entry level, TX2 is the mainstream, and the Xavier NX is also the mainstream, and the highest one is the AGX Xavier. And also it could be a good reference for you once you want to search the Boxer with certain Jetson module within it. I believe you now have an idea regarding to NVIDIA Jetson family and the Aeon NVIDIA Boxer. Now let's come to the point. In these two slides, I would like to cover what's the analytic capacity of each Boxer and how many plugins you could run on it. We separated AI text analytic plugins into 5 categories based on different resource consumption. So you can see there are 5 rows here. The first and second are deep learning analytic plugins, and the third to fifth one are non-deep. The matrix is developed based on the condition of each analytic channel can run under average working frame per second. So the number on the left means the maximum quantity of plugins you can run our Boxer per single category exclusively. So for example, on just a Nano platform, you could run 2 of plugins within first category. And in such condition, you don't have additional computing power for other plugins and so on. So within this page, you could see the performance metrics of Boxer based on JSON Nano and the JSON TX2. Then in this slide, you could see the metrics based on Boxer of Xavier NX and the AGX Xavier. This could be a good reference while building your video analytic project. You will have more idea for which Boxer is suitable for your use cases, since sometimes you don't need so many analytic plugins, and you can refer to this and select the suitable one. I won't go through every details here. The slides will be shared, so you could refer to page 8 and 9 for details if you are interested. I would like to launch our second poll to understand which performance indicator you think is important for AI or video analytic project. I can see from the result, the more important two would be accuracy and analytic capacities. So it means number of analytic channels can run on single edge device will be important to the attendees, and the accuracy rate. Yeah. So I will end this poll after 15 seconds. Yeah, then move on. All right. So in this slide, you could get a quick overview of our Boxer product roadmap. The product launched recently are based on Xavier NX, and which are Boxer 8251 and the 8250. Then in Q4, we will launch products based on JSON Nano, Xavier NX, and the AGX Xavier. Next year, Q1, there is another new product based on Xavier NX will be released. So you may wonder why so many products and so many skills we're planning in the roadmap. As I mentioned before, we provide Boxer with different form factor and I/O to fulfill different kinds of requirement from the market. So you learn the foundation of this solution. Now, I would like to give you an overview in terms of use cases as a starting point. And from next slide, I will pass the ball to Alicia to take you deep dive into how AI tech solution can help you on your use case. As you can see here, AI video analytics can help on plenty of verticals. In general, AI video analytics can help to extract insights and provide real-time notice for in-time action, then increase operational efficiency and security across so many industries. So let's take retail store, for example. You could leverage heat mapping to understand the hot zone or cold zone and take it as a reference for your shop floor layout strategy definition. Or you could use the VIP or blacklist recognition to differentiate the usual shoplifter or the VIP customer and take appropriate action to increase customer satisfaction and reduce the risk of safety. And there are unlimited possible use cases that you could develop based on AI video analytics. So if you have any interesting idea and you don't know where to start, feel free to contact us. Maybe there's something we could help. So now I will pass the ball to Alicia for introduction on AI text video analytics. So Alicia, the stage is yours, and I will give you the remote control. So I think now you could control the slides. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Let me check if I can control the slides.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Okay. So thanks again for this very interesting first part of the presentation. Let's continue to understand which are the different types of analytics that we can use in different vertical markets. At AI Tech, what we do is developing artificial intelligence technologies in all the markets, all the vertical markets we discussed up to now. Let's enter into details. So the first market we are going to discuss about will be the retail market. We can talk about retail not only when thinking about, for instance, shopping mall, but more generally in any kind of situation where the control of persons, of people's flows is required. For doing what? From traditional people counting through the gates. So for instance, for understanding the number of persons populating a building, but also for crowd estimation. Now a very important topic we will discuss deeply in a while is to understand, even in very, very crowded environment, the number of persons populating that area for understanding the customer trends, but also for analyzing the most interesting part inside the shopping mall. So for instance, the most interesting shelf, or still for queue management, for understanding if there are too many persons waiting in queue, and so as to raise an alarm and automatically opening a new cashier, so for increasing the customer satisfaction. Finally, for doing such that the person has to wait less waiting in queue. There is also the traditional heat map. You can see here on the left. Basically, you can visualize on a map the so-called hot zones and dead areas. So the most interesting, the most visited parts of the scene in red, the less interesting parts of a scene in blue-green. How to do it? With different plugins. So AI People is in charge of people counting through the gates. AI Crowd and Overcrowd are instead in charge of crowd estimation and alarm in case of excessive number of persons inside an area. AI Occupancy and AI Over Occupancy for density estimation, both from alarmistic and statistical point of view. AI Heat for heat mapping, and finally AI Bio for face analysis, for understanding if a given person is a female, is a male, so for gender recognition, but also for age estimation. So for both application in retail and business intelligence, but also, for instance, for digital signage, you can imagine to have a monitor. Typically what you have is a set of contents, a set of advertisement contents statically projected on that monitor, one behind the other one. So what you can do thanks to this kind of solution is to allow the customization of the content shown on a monitor, so as to strongly increase the effectiveness of your marketing campaign. Let's go a step on and let's move from retail to security. Security for more traditional intrusion detection, so for detecting the presence of a given object, a person, a vehicle, or still an animal inside an area. Solution that can be combined both with the traditional and thermal cameras. But you can also think this application is AI intrusion, so in charge of entering in forbidden area, crossing line, what it's often referred to as tripwire detection or multiple tripwire detection, but also for loitering detection, so for verifying if a person is staying into an area for a long time, or for loitering, for loss detection, so for verifying if there is an abandoned or a removed object in the scene, for instance, garbage in smart city environment, but also, for instance, the baggages into airports or into train station. Another very interesting application for security environment is AI spill for fall detection, so for verifying the fact that a person is falling down. The solution is very advanced since it does not only identify the fact that a person is stopped on the ground, but it's based on an advanced mathematical model. So what it evaluates is the fact that a person is walking, a person falls down, and then a person stays on the ground. Finally, two other very interesting solutions are AI fire dip and AI smoke dip, in charge respectively of flame detection and smoke detection, both in indoor and outdoor environments. Let's move to the next vertical that we can face with this solution we are going to propose you today, which is a quite, let me say, vertical in the sense that it's a quite specific solution for facing what the situation we are living now. So what are the requirements of nowadays in any kind of environments, from airport, train station, metro station, but also in a shopping mall, in buildings. So really is smart city, so really everywhere. It's not a real vertical market, but instead is a solution that can be transversally used in any kind of situation, any kind of environment where it's required to, first of all, understand if a person is wearing or not a mask, for instance, for blocking the access if a person is not wearing a mask. Today in Italy, we had the news that in our region is still mandatory during all the time, both indoor and outdoor, to wear all the day long a mask. So there is the requirement of having a way for controlling these so as to automatically alert the persons that something is going wrong and something needs to be done. But also there is the requirement of understanding how many persons are there inside a building. So if there are too many persons, there you have to put a kind of alarm. Please wait, you cannot enter. Also, it is required to detect the number of persons in a very crowded environment, maybe also by using already existing surveillance cameras, because finally often the most big investment is the infrastructure. Thanks to the solution we are going to propose, you can apply this kind of add-on, let me say, this kind of solution not only over new installations, but also over already existing installations. Finally, last but not least, there is the social distance analytics. So the requirement is to understand if two persons are too close each other. So if there is a gathering, if two persons are too close each other, then an alarm can be still raised. So a full solution for fighting what we are the situation we are experiencing now. Let's move to the last vertical I'm going to discuss. The last vertical is about smart road, smart parking, and the more general smart vehicle, smart city solutions. So up to now, we mainly talked about the way for analyzing people, let me say, with AI crowd deep, with AI face detect deep for face masked and unmasked detection. But in and also environment, for instance, for abandoned object on the street or flame smoke detection. But there is also something else that we could do to monitor the roads, so to monitor everything related to vehicles. We have three very big solutions for doing that. Let me start with the AI parking solution, this one, so the one you can see on the bottom left. The solution is AI parking, and it is in charge of understanding if a given free slot that you can see identifying by red and green square is occupied or not. Still talking about vehicle, what we can propose also to you is the solution for obtaining both statistical and alarmistic information. So AI Road 3D is in charge of identifying any kind of statistical information about your street. So vehicle counting, classification, density estimation, for each vehicle the possibility to estimate the color or the average speed. If we think about the alarms that our solution, AI Incident, is able to detect, we can think about congestion detection. We can think about the presence of a pedestrian on the road, the presence of a stopped vehicle, but also the presence of a vehicle crossing a street on the wrong way or going too fast, so with a too high speed. If you put everything together, finally you can note that we have the biggest solution you may wish for smart city, combining people, environment, and pedestrian and people. Okay, we discussed up to now how to generate data. So up to now, we say to you how to provide this huge amount of data for both statistical and alarmistic purposes. Now the question becomes, okay, how to manage this data? So this solution is integrated with a lot of different VMS brand with, let me say, the most important VMS today available in the market, so third-party VMS. But we also support a lot of standard protocols. So for instance, in case of an alarm, you can send an email. So we support SMTP protocol, but also HTTP, both in terms of customizable GET or REST framework with the payload transmitted in a standard JSON format, but also FTP, UDP or TCP, Modbus TCP, and MQTT, which is becoming the standard in the IoT world. Finally, if you think we are saying that the camera is not only a way for just recording what and seeing what is happening, but we are transforming a camera into a sensor generating events. So this kind of solution can be seen like a kind of sensor generating events. So the MQTT protocol is becoming something very, very important. But also, in case, let me say, you don't know how to manage your data, we also offer a solution. The solution is AI-Pro, which is a web application. It's a dashboard that can be used for collecting the data coming from different devices, even in different places. So everything in a single place. Then the next requirement is to aggregate all this information. Think, for example, to a building where you have 10 different entrances. So one camera over each entrance. So you have more system, more boxer required in different parts of this big building. So different people counting the system. But you finally need to understand the number of persons inside that building. So somehow you need to aggregate everything. Then you also have a way for visualizing and for reporting. You can forget about the dashboard and you can just see in your email a report including all the information required. Also, it's also a very useful tool for monitoring alarms in case a VMS is not required. So it's not a tool for recording. If you need to record, you need a VMS, an external VMS. But if you need only to visualize the alarm, the dashboard, AI-Pro can be a solution for you. Finally, from the diagnostic point of view, because one of the most critical situation could be related to the fact that something may be wrong. Let me say, you can have a disconnection on the network. So in this case, you have no idea that something got wrong in the installation and that, let me say, the people counting system is no more generating event. Thanks to the dashboard, the boxer with the plugin together with the dashboard as a kind of heartbeat, still alive mechanism. So periodically, the application says, I'm alive, I'm alive. So what it means is that finally in real time, the dashboard knows if something gets wrong. And of course, inform immediately the human operator. So it's a kind of proactive system supporting not only in the visualization of the data, but also in the maintenance of the system. So it's a solution finally, not only from the final user point of view, but also from the system integrator point of view, so from the maintainer point of view. These are some examples of the solution and of the different charts that you can visualize inside the dashboard. You can decide which kind of device to see, which kind of chart, and you can also integrate if the internet connection is available with the weather system for correlating the data related to the number of persons, for instance, to the data related to the weather information. Everything can be also sent inside the PDF, collecting all the data you asked to the system through a simple PDF report that you can get in your email once a day, once a week, once a month, whatever you want. Finally, the last topic I would like to discuss about is related to the designing of the system. So the typical question when starting designing a new system is, okay, I put the camera in this way, but how many cameras do I need for covering everything? there is not a generic question, since it depends on the specific plugin that you are looking for. It also depends on the age of installation of the camera. It depends on the installation tilt angle of the camera, on the processing resolution. So there is not a generic question. So how to make possible something that at the beginning may seem to be impossible, or at least very, very time consuming, and then very expensive, also from an economic point of view, the designing of this kind of system. Well, the solution is very, very simple, because we provide our partners with a free tool. So feel free to ask access to this tool. You can surely have this. You can put the camera on the map, choose the plugin, choose the specific characteristic of the camera you are considering for your installation, and automatically the system will draw the cone related to the maximum distance that given plugin, so that given video analytic solution for people counting, for crowd estimation, for vehicle monitoring can reach. In this way, what is typically very, very expensive becomes very, very simple, and with a very, very low time required. Also, you can take a PDF report containing all the information inside the tool and just share with your customer. Also, it could be useful to have access to this technical overview portal. Here you can find not only the user manuals in the form of some web page that can be finally easily traduced thanks to Google Translator into any kind of language. Unfortunately, we support Italian and English language. But it also contains all our training course, from lesson 0, what is video analytics and everything you need to know about video analytic solutions, up to the very, very advanced configuration parameter, in case you could be interested in it. So the access is free. Please feel free.
Okay.
Let me pass the control to Owen. I think that there is Paul, but I don't see it.
Yeah, since you run so smoothly, so I don't want to break the tempo, but no problem. Yeah, so before we enter the Q&A section, I would like to launch our third poll. Since Alessia mentioned regarding to the vertical markets that can be applied by AI tech solution, and also the dashboard to visualize the information and also send report and alarm. So I think you have a rough idea regarding to what could be applied by smart monitoring and the video analytics. So I would like to understand what vertical markets would you be interested in for these smart monitoring use cases. So this could be also take as a reference while we discuss with either AI tech or video analytic partner. We could see which vertical section has the more interest, and we discuss based on that to see what new application is needed and will be the trend for that vertical market, and take it as a reference for our product roadmap definition. Yeah. Okay, share some result. Currently, as I see, the transportation and the public sector and manufacturing are the three topics, vertical markets have more interest. I think related to public sector and the transportation, we can say like due to coronavirus, and we need this kind of solution to do people counting, occupancy, and mask or even temperature detection. Yeah. So I will reserve 10 more seconds, then we will move on to Q&A section. Right. So thank you everyone for joining. And again, I'm Owen, and thanks to Alessia. And feel free if you have any question, you can reach to us, or now you can also type in the Q&A box, then we will pick up and answer it. And also here you can see there's a QR code. So if you are interested and you have some project plan you want to discuss, and feel free to scan it and type the information. It's very simple, just name, email address, and industry, then we will contact you and for discussion to see what we can build together. And from the Q&A box, now I see one question regarding to any chance for us to share the slides. Yes, we will share it. So after the webinar, our guy will share the slides to all the attendees, so no worry about this part. There's another question from Ronnie, and Ronnie asks about, will Aeon offer some kind of a software starter kit? I could answer first, and I think Iris could help me to add more. From our Boxer, we install with the SLinux, the license, the SLinux operating system, and it's equipped with the NVIDIA Jetpack software package. So this will be a bundle solution that you can purchase and you can develop based on it. So I hope this helps on your question.
This is sorry. This is Iris speaking. Regarding the software starter kit, actually, our Aeon Boxer series actually offer the SLinux. But aside from that, we do know that customer usually they choose lots of the customized function. So this is why we have our software partner to support us. So if you have, because each case we have to discuss a case by case usually. So we will provide a basic function within our Boxer product, but for more customizations that will be put into further discussion.
Okay, thanks to Iris. So yeah, are you involved in, there's a new question. Are you involved in the NVIDIA GTC conference from October 6th to 8th? And are there any speakers there who have used your tools or solutions? Regarding to this one, Iris, does SPD join?
So the question is like, are we involved in NVIDIA GTC conference on October 6th to 8th? Any speakers there who will use our tools and solutions? So basically, our activity here is separate from our head of HQ, from our head office. So possibly from our head office, there will be someone to join from our business unit, but this one we have to check. But we do partner with the NVIDIA. We are part of their hardware partner, which means sometimes if they have conference or activity, they do use our solution, but maybe not. They won't inform us because kind of separate business unit sometimes. But we can double check. If you're interested, we will announce that, also promote in our marketing zone.
And let's wait for maybe 1 minute to see if there are more questions coming. Okay, I guess that's it. And thanks for joining our webinar. And if you have any question or any interesting points you want to discuss, feel free to contact me or Alessia, and we could help you on your questions. And thanks for Alessia and Iris to join as a co-host for this webinar. So yeah, okay. Yeah, I received interesting feedback. Thank you. Oh, okay. So yeah, thank you all. So have a
Thanks
nice
a lot
evening.
to all of you also from our side. So let's keep in touch. We are here for answer to any of your questions.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.